Welcome back friends, this is Sonia here from Resin Craft, and today I am going to do this mosaic frame, or you can call it as a center tray, because I have actually altered a photo frame into a tray and I absolutely loved this. Now mosaic decoupage is something which I have been doing recently and I absolutely love this, and I think there are so many variations which you can do, and there are so many varieties of artwork which you can create with this one technique. So to start with, here I have this photo frame and I have removed the glass of this frame, and now I'm going to stick it really well. And now for sticking this, I'm using my glue gun, and this is just to make sure that my colors and my resins and everything doesn't pour out from the frame. I will seal the project and I will make sure that I have clipped everything really well. And now it's time to start with my first step. Now as you can see, the frame color is white, the black, and the base color is a natural brown. So here I'm using my white acrylic paint to cover this up completely. So initially I thought I will just do the mosaic work on the center work and I'll leave the side areas as it is, but then I realized that the complete mosaic work is going to look really good. So here I'm going to apply my white acrylic paint, good 2-3 coats of acrylic paint, and then yes, I'm going to do some really good experiment with my chalk paint once my coloring work is done. So now here for this frame, I'm using my paintbrush to apply my colors, and this is a small frame, so my paintbrush is going to work really good in this. And anyways, I'm going to have some more interesting colors on the top of it, and yes, I am also going to add some of the mosaic artwork on this. So paintbrush, the marks are anyways going to get hide behind that. You can use your heat gun to speed up the drying process as and when required. I am going to use my heat gun. I always use my heat gun to speed up my drying process, and it always makes my work really easy and simple. After good 2-3 coats of my white paint, here I'm going to use my chalk paint, and here is the twist. I absolutely love this color, the blue shade, but I wanted to add some more tinge and some more elements to this, and I have been working with chalk paint since long and I really wanted to experiment this. Now here the twist is that I will be using some more blue shades paper in this, and that's the reason I wanted to add a little darker shade of chalk paint. So here I am using my acrylic black paint, and It's just a dot of black paint what I have added to my blue color. This looks good, but then I felt that maybe I need to add some more shade to it, and here I'm using my blue color shade. Now here also I'm just adding 2 drops of paint. This is my regular acrylic paint, and just believe it that the color looks absolutely awesome, and this is what exactly I wanted. This is the shade which I wanted for my project. Now for applying this paint, I'm using flat brush, and this one is 1 inch, approximately 1 inch broad paint brush, and this is making my work really fast. And when I applied it, it was really dark, and I was not at all sure that how it is going to work out, because I had never ever applied chalk paint with combination of my acrylic paint, and while working out it was as good as my chalk paint or my regular acrylic paint. But I was so worried that how it is going to look once it dries out. But trust me, the experimenting this was totally worth it. The color which came out was absolutely gorgeous, and I loved the shade. And you can see that I'm just brushing up at the center because I am going to have my mosaic work in the center. So I was absolutely fine with this. After doing my first coat of paint, I gave it a good dry. I am using my heat gun, and trust me, the color looks absolutely amazing. The effect is completely of the chalk paint, but please do remember that my ratio was like if I had used like good 1 tablespoon of my chalk paint, so I just used tinge of colors. Now I had to add some more chalk paint and my colors because while drying I realized that I did not color the sides of my frame, and I never ever like to miss those portions which is visible from anywhere of your decoratives. So that's the reason I applied some more color. I could not get the same exact consistency of the color, but I was happy because it was almost very similar. And I added some extra colors this time, mixed up some good quantity, and I just brushed up the same shade on the top of my previous color so that it looks like more of a shaded thing, and it worked out for me. Now whenever you are using your colors, please make sure that you close the bottles immediately. I know at times it is little tiring and you are so engrossed in your work that you don't want to do it, but I have been doing crafting since long, and trust me, I have actually ruined so many of my color bottles because of my laziness. So here, as you can see, while I'm applying my colors, the shade looks almost same, and it actually turned out to be almost same. But still I did the brush up on the top layer so that it looks like more of a rustic thing, and it worked out well for me, and my project looked good at the end. Now this is the mosaic part, and this is one of the beautiful paper pack in blue which I had, and these are some of the paper pieces which are left over from my project. So I was not really sure that what size should I take. So here I have taken the smaller pieces of paper, and I'm chopping it into approximately 1/2 inches by 1/2 inches. This is an absolutely approximately size what I have taken, and I'm going to mix 2-3 colors from the same paper pack, and all these are from my scrap papers. There is nothing that you need to have a new paper pack. If you have some scrap, you can use that. You can even use some good, really beautiful printouts. You can use some nice decoupage napkins. You can even use some beautiful newspaper cuttings for your mosaic artwork, and they are going to look really great. Now this cutting process is a little time taking, but then while cutting you need to really make sure that you have all the color combinations you want if you are taking a scrap paper like me, how I have used. So here and there you might have to stick the smaller and the bigger pieces, that you can decide while working and while sticking it, and that is going to make your work much more easier. Now I will just apply this, I'll just keep these papers and see how it is looking, and I think it looks great.
À deux doigts de nos lèvres, deux doigts si fins que j'ai presque pu le goûter, le bonheur à sculpter, de son ciseau d'orfèvre, des souvenirs impossibles à effacer. Le bonheur est passé à deux doigts de nos lèvres, deux doigts si fins que j'ai presque pu le goûter.
So now I think I should start sticking it, and for sticking this I am going to use my Mod Podge. Now for applying Mod Podge, I am using my paintbrush so that I can do it a little faster. I did not want it to apply the Mod Podge on my complete base, cause that is actually going to have so much of wastage. So I am sticking each and every paper individually, and while sticking it I am going to make sure that I have a dry sponge dauber, so that even if I see some papers are coming out or there's some corners have not sticked really well, I can press it well and it is going to stick really good to my base. Now in the same way I am going to stick all the mosaic papers on my board, and then we'll move on to the next step.
À deux doigts de nos lèvres, deux doigts si fins que j'ai presque pu le goûter, le bonheur à sculpter, de son ciseau d'orfèvre, des souvenirs impossibles à effacer. Le bonheur est passé à deux doigts de nos lèvres, deux doigts si fins que j'ai presque pu le goûter, le bonheur à sculpter, de son ciseau d'orfèvre, des souvenirs impossibles à effacer. j'ai presque pu le goûter. Impossible à effacer, que j'ai presque pu le goûter. Le bonheur est passé à deux doigts de nos lèvres, deux doigts si fins que j'ai presque pu le goûter. Le bonheur a sculpté de son ciseau d'orfèvre des souvenirs impossibles à effacer. Le bonheur est passé à deux doigts de nos lèvres, deux doigts si fins que j'ai presque pu le goûter. Le bonheur a sculpté de son ciseau d'orfèvre des souvenirs impossibles à effacer, que j'ai presque pu le goûter. À deux doigts de nos lèvres, deux doigts si fins que j'ai presque pu le goûter. Le bonheur a sculpté de son ciseau d'orfèvre des souvenirs impossibles à effacer. Le bonheur est passé à deux doigts de nos lèvres, deux doigts si fins que j'ai presque pu le goûter. Le bonheur a sculpté de son ciseau d'orfèvre des souvenirs impossibles à effacer. À deux doigts de nos lèvres, deux doigts si fins que j'ai presque pu le goûter. Le bonheur a sculpté de son ciseau d'orfèvre des souvenirs impossibles à effacer. Le bonheur est passé à deux doigts de nos lèvres, deux doigts si fins que j'ai presque pu le goûter.
Now here is the fun part, and my resin and hardeners are there. Now I'm going to mix it. Now I really know that how much quantity I need, and that's the reason I'm going to take my small measuring cup. This is the cup which you get with the medicines, and now I'm going to pour 5 ml of my resin and approximately 1.5 ml of my hardener. This is going to work well for me because that much quantity is only what I need when I'm doing my project. You can use any of the disposable containers and some specific measuring cups to do this measuring work, but as my project is really small and I know that approximately this much is only required, so I'm going to mix it in a very small and tiny cup. Now to mix this, you can use any of the disposable spoons or anything which is easier for you to manage. And now here I'm going to use my my wooden spoon to mix this really well. Now for the resin, you need to mix it well for approximately 2 to 3 minutes, and you need to make sure that you mix it really well and there are no bubbles, and you need to be gentle with this. And my video is in speed process, that's why you can see me doing it very fast, but actually I did it really slowly, and just 2-3 minutes and your resin is ready to use. Now for applying this, I came up with this idea that I am going to put some drops, like 1 drop or 2 drop in each block, and then with my backside of the paint brush, I am going to spread it.
À deux doigts de nos lèvres, de doigts si fins que j'ai presque pu le goûter, le bonheur à sculpter de son ciseau d'orfèvre, des souvenirs impossibles à effacer.
So first I started with the side borders and then I came to the center portion, and here is what the mistake what I did. I just kept on doing it, and just because I was sitting on this side of my table and I was not peeping out from the top, I could not see that the center portion of my resin was spreading out, and that was the biggest mistake what I did. I should have taken care of that, and I actually over poured the resin on some of the areas. Because of that, it's actually spread out. I could notice that only when I completely finished my project and when I was keeping it to dry, and that was really saddening. But with each craft work we learn something, with each artwork we learn something, and this is mistake what I did, and I have learned something new with this project.
j'ai presque pu le goûter. Que j'ai presque pu le goûter. Que j'ai presque pu le goûter. Impossible à effacer. Le bonheur est passé à deux doigts de nos lèvres, deux doigts si fins que j'ai presque pu le goûter. Le bonheur a sculpté de son ciseau d'orfèvre des souvenirs impossible à effacer. Le bonheur est passé à deux doigts de nos lèvres, deux doigts si fins que j'ai presque pu le goûter. Le bonheur a sculpté de son ciseau d'orfèvre des souvenirs impossible à effacer. Impossible à effacer. Que j'ai presque pu le goûter. Impossible à effacer. Impossible à effacer. Que j'ai presque pu le goûter. Impossible à effacer. Que j'ai presque pu le goûter. Impossible à effacer. Que j'ai presque pu le goûter.
So with this my video tutorial is done. I hope you all liked it and I hope you all have learned from my mistake. I'm listing out all the surprise down in the description box. Do check that. If you have any queries, please feel free to comment down. I'll be more than happy to help you all. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye bye.